Hello everyone, it's Sandra here. I need to get some castings starting to mature because we've got all of our aged castings out in the garden, and I've got a couple of bins here that are close, but you can see there are still worms in here. Oh my gosh, there's so many worms in here. But you know, I have to get the worm or the castings, the vermicompost out of here. I need to get it into a bucket and start maturing it. I don't mind that there are worms in it. I can toss the worms into as I go through here, any ones that I can see, I can just toss over here into the side that I've been gently migrating these worms, because I want to get these castings in good shape for me to be able to use them in my seed starting in the spring. So to do that, I have to get them out of here. Well, it's vermicompost. Look at all the still shredded paper and everything. I have to get it out of here and into a bucket. Then it can start aging, and the worms that come along for the ride, well, hey, they're just going to help chew up these last few bits. And then I will be able to restock this bin and get the rest of these worms working. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out this side of the bin. I'm going to have to just pull it out handful by handful. So I'll fast forward this bit and I'll catch you as soon as I get this vermicompost out of here and into my bucket. All right, so I filled the better part of a 5-gallon bucket, so it's about 4/5 full. So that's going to stand me in good stead for seed starting. And if you watched my episode 2 of Worm Science, you'll hear that one of the factors that leads to better growth and reproduction in worms is if they have established bedding. And so by only taking out half of this worm bin, I am definitely giving the worms that are remaining in here established bedding. Yes, I'm going to be putting some new bedding here, but they're not moving at all. These few that got disturbed with the harvest, they'll quickly find their way into here. But I'm just going to remove this brown paper because I'll use it again for the top. It's still in good shape. And let's take a look into this migration zone and see how many worms are left behind. So what I do is I'll just spread this migration zone out along the bottom of this bin, give it a feeding, and then top it with some new shredded cardboard. This bin, you could probably tell by the compression in the castings, is quite moist. And even here, where I've been feeding and giving new shred, it's quite moist. And so, yeah, so this bin doesn't need wet bedding added to it for sure. But look at that. Look at how much is left over just from me spreading out the migration zone. This is Eat My Shorts, some avocado shells. There's a worm ball for you right there in some office paper that had some food juices on it. So I've been migrating the worms for a couple of feedings over to this zone, so I can see that the migration was quite successful. So yes, I did pull out a lot of worms into the harvested vermicompost, but you can see that there are plenty of worms left behind here, and I will pull out the worms from that vermicompost. So looking at the depth of this bedding and the amount of shredded cardboard that's left in it, I don't think I need to add any more new bedding. I think there's still quite a bit in here. And so this is Eat My Shorts. And if I had to guess, I would say this bedding is 3 or 4 inches deep now that I've spread it out. So a lot of you operate bins that are only 3 to 4 inches deep total. So Eat My Shorts is a huge volume. And so I think I'm just going to give these guys a feeding. But honestly, I'm just going to leave them to work on the bedding that's in here. Maybe give them a little bit of dry shred, but certainly not the amount that I was previously intending. They have enough to work on in here. But the dry shredded paper I'll add will help with the moisture. This side of the bin is fluffy, but over here, right in the depth of the migration zone, it was getting kind of wet. So, all right, let me put some food down. So our food of choice today is some leek stems. That is a very slow food, and there's some eggshell powder on it. So I'm just going to put a couple leek stems down. Got a few food scraps that have powdered eggshell already mixed into them. Still a tiny bit frozen, but that should thaw quickly. Then I've got some tamale wrappers. We had takeout tamale the other day. So these are our napkins. I actually will save that napkin to wipe my hands right at the end. And previously frozen banana peel. So this bin has had tamale before. And although the worms take a long time to get into these corn husks, the little remnants of corn husk on them is quite tasty for the worms. So these are the takeout containers that I got. There's a little bit of corn scraps on these tamale corn husks. And I think what I'll do is I will just turn over these takeout containers, and that will also help with any pest issues a little bit. It's not exactly airtight or pest tight, but look at the lovely air bubble that creates as well. So I think that's going to work out very well. And I will just take this existing bedding and move it over, worms and all. There we go. Put that down as a marker, although I'll remember that in the center there's a big hump there. And replace the paper, complete with the worms that were tucked up nice and safe in the paper, and the bubble wrap. So that's it for Eat My Shorts, getting a quick harvest so that I can do some seed starting by late January. And in the meantime, they get some corn husks to tuck into. All right, everyone. Bye for now.